Hello and welcome to a short video that's just going to run through some different revision strategies and ideas to try and structure revision leading up to the Year 11 exams that you're going to be studying in June and May this year. Most of these were talked through during Parents' Evening, but I just thought I'd put them on here so that students and parents alike can have a quick look and be clear on the sorts of things that we're suggesting to help maximise your chance of doing well in the exams. These are the papers you're going to be studying. Different dates. It all starts for science on the 15th of May, and you can see the different topics that are going to be examined on the different papers. So I thought this would be useful just so you can have a look and see the sorts of things that you need to revise and might structure your revision a little bit towards those. The paper ones are quite close together, but then you've got a bit of space and a bit of time before you go on to your paper twos. So when you are planning your revision, it might be worth making sure these are covered first, and then you've got a bit of time before you go on to these ones in June. The AQA Science website is probably the best, one of the first ports of call I'd be recommending. So if you go onto Google and search for GCSE AQA Science, that's our exam board, you'll come across a page that looks like this. Now if you're in set 1, you'll be studying the 3 separate sciences, and they're the different pages you're going to need to be looking at. If you're doing the combined science, trilogy science, then that's the button you want to be clicking there. This is the trilogy science page, and there's 2 parts to this I wanted to talk you through. If you click here, this is the specification. Lots of useful information in the specification, but if you go to the content section, it breaks down everything that you need to learn. So spend some time working your way through this, perhaps print it off and tick it off or highlight it when you feel you're comfortable with something. But also pay attention to the required practicals, because there's no coursework as such associated with this course. All those practical skills are going to get assessed in the exam itself, so make sure you're familiar with these methods, and if there's anything you're not sure of, be it the theory or the practicals, please come and speak to us. There'll be member staff that's more than willing to help out. The other section I wanted to talk about was this assess section here. Now obviously 2018 is the first time we're going to be testing on this new specification, so there aren't any past papers, but if you click on the assess tab here, there are some specimen ones. And this is what you'll be clicking on here, and you can see different papers, different versions, foundation and for hire, and they're worth looking at, and you've got the question papers and the mark schemes to go through. Print them off, have a go at them, and then have a go at marking them yourselves and seeing how well you're getting on. In reception at school, we've got the workbooks, revision guides and the mark schemes for sale. Really recommend getting through these. If you've missed any lessons or didn't quite understand a topic that was dealt with during a lesson, everything's in there in a quite concise form. In here you've got some questions to attempt, and then you can see how well you've got on using the mark scheme there. These set of books will be for trilogy hire. If you're doing foundation, then they look like that. But if you're doing the separate sciences, you're going to need 3 revision guides, 3 workbooks and 3 answer papers as well. Inside the revision guides, at the front, the content, really useful, breaks down the different topics, gives you an idea of how long they are, how many pages you've got to read. It might help structure your revision, so when we go on to talk about planning your revision, this will be very useful because it gives you an idea of how much content there is in each topic. In the book itself, here you can see, nicely laid out, a few bullet points, a few ideas, just running through the theory. Then at the bottom of each page there's a couple of questions you can have a go at as well. At the end of each chapter, these revision questions, I think these are really useful. You can tick them off as you go, and the sorts of things that you need to be able to do, you need to be able to understand, and it's got page numbers there as well, so you might just work your way through a section. You can look at the page numbers there if you're unsure of anything, and just tick them off as you go, and you get a nice sense of satisfaction working your way down, and you can, once you've done a whole page, you can be quite proud of yourself because that's one little chapter done, one little topic sorted. All the students at Ashby School have got a login for Sam Learning. The students will be well used to using it, but I'm just going to give you a quick run through for the two different types of activities that we recommend. To log in to Sam Learning, the centre ID is the same for everybody, it's LE65AG, but then the user ID and password, if you haven't changed it, are always the same. It's your date of birth, followed by your 2 initials. If you struggle to log in, come and speak to one of us or the guys in Network Services, and they'll be able to help you out. There are other subjects that are offered through Sam Learning, but we're just interested in the science ones on this little video. So if you click in Science, you'll be led to this page, and if you click on GCSE Science Courses, if you click on Final Exam 2018, the exam board we're working towards is AQA, so click there, and then you can see you've got the 3 different subjects on offer. Now if we were to click Chemistry, you get these different folders here, and in there are the different topics that are on offer and available, and they're sometimes subdivided again, so you work your way through those, and then it gets to this page here where you've got the 2 different types of activities on offer. Now you've got these green ones here, and these are kind of written test activities, and then the blue ones are a bit more interactive, a few drag and drop activities, multiple choice, that kind of thing. This is an example of one of the blue activities. You can see here, you click that button and try and work out the answers, a few options on offer, and then these ones are drag and drop. There's a few different variables that you can put in there and have a go at seeing how you get on. Up here it tells you how well you're doing, and you can see how many pages are on offer. It won't let you move on until you've attempted everything and got on that page. This is an example of one of the green sections, one of the exam sections, and there's a question there, and you just have to type in your answer down there. When you've had a go, it brings a mark scheme for you to see, and then you just award yourself how many marks you think you've got. You can do each one of these activities 3 times, so you can see if you can improve, do a bit of revision, and have another go just to really repeat and try and get all that information embedded into your mind. Now, we talked about revising and setting up a revision program during Parents' Evening, and I thought this is just useful, nice little slide just to show the different reasons why people struggle or find revision difficult. But if you've got a revision plan and a strong structure and you stick to it, hopefully it helps to overcome these problems that we've got there. This is just a very basic example of the sorts of things that you might be able to do. You know, plan out your time. It's only a few months now. You know, give yourself some time off. If you've got any jobs, part-time jobs or any sports that you play, put those in there, and then you can break down all your different subjects so that you can ensure that you're covering them, looking at the exam dates that you've got and making sure you're working well up towards those exams. During Parents' Evening, everybody got one of these, and this is just helping you structure your time when you are revising for the sciences. We've got the dates, and now you can see the cycle runs through twice, so again, talking about repetition. Hopefully if you go through each program twice, it's just giving you a chance to go over things again and again and again. It's got pages of the revision guide to refer to, pages in the workbook to attempt, and then a few Sam Learning activities we suggest you do as well. This is a nice way to structure revision during the timetable that you've set out. Just thought I'd show you this. This is just an example of some flashcards that the students made in the past. Nice little cards. You can buy them in the library, and you can put questions on one side, answers on the other, and pass them around and ask people to test you on them. It's just a way to consolidate everything down that you've covered in the revision guide or in your exercise books during lessons. These are summary posters. You can see, just again, breaking it all down, just going over the material and just presenting it in a way that helps you come back to it again and just recap and go over things a few times. However, I wanted to finally just talk about this though, and these are the exam question banks that we've now got on the student shared area. So if you log on to the school website using your login, go to the student shared, click on science, and then look for the year 11 question banks. On there we've got lots and lots of different folders and files with different questions, multiple questions really, on a particular topic. So it might be 8 or 10 questions on a small topic. One file's got the questions, the other file's got the answers. I just really recommend going through those, having a look, attempting the questions, printing them off, having a go at them, and you'll start to see the sorts of things that get asked again and again, and the sorts of things that you need to make sure you put down. So you'll see key phrases, key ideas coming through on the mark schemes. Really recommend you look at those and make sure that when you are writing your answers, you're including those key mark scheme phrases. The benefit of doing this as well is if you do a bank of questions first and you do really well on them, then you might not need to make your flashcards or your posters because you've already shown to yourself that you can understand the material and you don't need to spend as much time revising it. Spend your time somewhere else where you are struggling. Just wanted to show you this. This is just an example of how I'd recommend actually attempting the questions. Obviously, put the answers to one side, don't look at those, then have a go at the paid question, work your way through it, but then a lot of students just quickly mark it and move on. What we're suggesting is spend a good chunk of time looking at your responses, and then in a different colour, just going through and actually writing down why you got it wrong. Because that's what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to move things forward and improve your exam technique, not just get through the questions because they're there. So spend that time and maybe even write a few comments at the end of the question to say, yeah, next time I do a question I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, I'm going to do things differently. So that when you do attempt the next question you can take that advice on board and hopefully develop and improve your exam practice. Just before Easter we'll be doing some more mock exams, so it just gives you a chance to see how well your revisions worked and to see the improvement based on the other mocks that we did just before Christmas. Hopefully you found that useful, and just recap the sorts of things that we discussed during Parents' Evening. But by all means, come in and see us. If there's anything you're not sure of, speak to your teacher during lessons or during study leave, come in and speak to us. That's what we're here for. But hopefully you can do yourselves proud and good luck.